All right, so today's video is not going to have the production value that I usually try to have in these videos. As you guys know, I was supposed to be at the practice today. I have been dealing with some of the most ludicrous flight delays I've ever dealt with, and it's my own fault. This is what I get for, trying to make sure the trip is profitable from a business standpoint and cheaping out on the ticket and flying Frontier. This is what I get. This is why you spend the extra $100. I will tell you this right now. This has nothing to do with the Cleveland Browns, but if you want to know my worst way to travel or the worst way to travel, it is Frontier Airlines. I have never had more horrific experiences than specifically with Frontier. I'm not somebody who has anything against budget airlines or anything like that. I've flown Spirit, had good experiences. Frontier Airlines specifically, dog shit. My personal opinion, just letting that be known. But that all being said, I'm not going to let the fact that Frontier Airlines does not come through on their promises to stop me from coming through on my promises. I actually get the job done, unlike certain airline companies. But that being said, let's look at today's practice, what we heard, what we found out. I apologize for the crudeness of this video. I did not have time to build a set out in the airport of full scale. So let's get into it. We're going to look at some tweets. First things first, Kenny Pickett was back at practice. Thought that was strange. Now, he didn't participate in team drills, but he was back at practice. It seemed like, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe I made too much out of it, but it did seem like they were trying to prepare us for the fact that Kenny Pickett was going to be out a significant amount of time. Kevin Stefanski was talking about attacking his rehab. It felt like a longer injury. Apparently, it's not that bad of an injury. He will be back in practicing, this week, and maybe even might be ready for joint practice. So if you're a Kenny Pickett stan, to the roaring 15 of y'all, get ready. It's about to get real for Kenny Pickett. So good on y'all. Now, I think that's good for the Browns because at least they get to evaluate Kenny Pickett right now. Now, if we go through the tweets, somebody who has been getting first team reps in place of Kenny Pickett is Dillon Gabriel. Zach Jackson had this to say, which I thought was interesting. Dillon got some reps with the ones today, but Flacco took most of the reps with the ones by a wide margin. It was the second day of 8. We've seen Gabriel struggle to string together completions. It was Flacco's best throwing day of camp. So Flacco showed what he's supposed to, right? I keep saying this. Joe Flacco is going to provide the measuring stick for everybody else in this quarterback competition. If you want to start, you got to be better than Joe Flacco. And if none of these quarterbacks are better than Joe Flacco, well, the obvious answer is the obvious answer. Joe Flacco is going to start. So that's what they're up against. It seems like Joe Flacco still looks like the best quarterback down there of all the ones that they've let throw with the ones. And it doesn't seem like Dillon is really attacking it, and the stringing it together completions thing, right? The accuracy, it just doesn't look like it's there. And, Dillon was a very highly accurate quarterback in college, but the NFL, the faster speed, the speeding up your mechanics, the bigger players, it can make you go from an accurate player to an inaccurate player real easily, right? It's why your college skill set, you can't just trust that it's going to one-to-one transfer over to the NFL in such a clean way for anybody, right? Zach Jackson had this to say about Shadour Sanders followed 2 with the 2s. Gabriel got 4 snaps with the 1s. Now Gabriel stays in with the 3s. Flacco's clear best day of camp, red zone 11 on 11, just ended with a dime to Jamari Thrash for a touchdown. So again, we're hearing that, Joe Flacco had a pretty good day at camp. Browns Film Breakdown had this tweet here. And there's going to be a lot of videos that you're going to see in this. I thought they recorded some really good footage for this. But they've been mentioning that, it looks like Dillon Gabriel's been struggling a bit. And that seems to be a common thread throughout the people there. I can't wait. Hopefully I can get there tomorrow for the practice. Fingers crossed. But if I'm down there, I can't wait to get a look at it for myself. Another tweet from whoever was watching this on behalf of Browns Film Breakdown. Dylan Sampson just broke out a big run on duo. So nice to see that. I've been complaining about not hearing anything about the running backs. Nice to hear that. Their notes from notable first team notes: Cam Mitchell with slot snaps, Newsome outside. That's the expected alignment that we thought would happen. Newsome would kick outside, Cam Mitchell would do that. Now we saw some good things from Cam Mitchell today. I've been complaining about Cam, so it's nice to see some good things from him. And look, I know Cam had an interception the other day, but if you watch that interception, it was more of a Dillon Gabriel caused it than the good defense did. Newsome outside, Mahmoud Diabate, Schlesinger at linebacker, Alex Wright opposite of Myles Garrett. So Alex Wright getting his name in that competition with Isaiah McGuire. Now, I think from everything we've heard, Isaiah McGuire is clearly winning that competition, but nice to have some names in there. Dillon Gabriel, first team, first snap. So he did take the first snap of the day. Look, I know Shadour fans are going to be, well, no, I don't know. I don't know what Shadour fans are going to do. I have not been able to predict what Shadour fans are going to do for a while. But I can see being mad that Dillon's getting these reps right now. But they might be giving Dillon these first team reps to really see if they want to push this further or if they're going to demote him, right? Like, this is a common concept you'll see a boss do at a job, where they give you a little taste of a promotion just to see if you are going to earn it or you're going to lose that spot and you might get fired after that. So I wouldn't say or wouldn't recommend looking at these first team snaps and just assuming that this is a indicator of who's going to get promoted. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of reasons why Dillon's getting first team reps. And some of those reasons might be to examine his spot on the roster or examine his spot on the depth chart more than anything, right? Kind of like with Kenny Pickett, where I'm like, Kenny Pickett's going to get a lot of first team reps, but I don't think that really means anything as far as like where the team views him. Like, yeah, they want to give him an opportunity, but if he doesn't take it, then the opportunities that he didn't capitalize on with the first team are going to be used against him, and that can be done with Dillon Gabriel in a similar fashion. So, it's something to think about, right? That there might be more than one solution here for this whole thing. Oh, Tevin Jenkins was back at practice. That was good to hear. DeJuan Jones was back at practice, gave us a scare. That was really good to hear. And then also we found out that the Carolina Panthers are going to play their starters in the preseason opener. We're not sure if the Browns are going to play their starters yet, but we do know that Carolina is going to play their starters. So that's news that we learned today. All right, let's jump into some of this footage. Again, forgive me. I'm not going to have the notes in front of me in my usual setup to be able to tell exactly what each clip is. So I'm going to have to kind of figure it out as I watch it. But, we can still break down this stuff, have some fun here nonetheless. Shout out to Chris Esterling, Fred Greetham, Browns Film Breakdown. They were able to get this footage that I'm going to look at here. So make sure you go check those guys out for sure. So here, I think, are Dillon Gabriel snaps for today. And look, I said the same thing with Kenny Pickett. It's a lot of running around going on. Now, this might be by design. I don't think it's by design. That's not by design, actually. So a lot of running around. Don't love that, right? Want to see my guys work from the pocket. But if you feel like you got to run around to create success, not good. I'm trying to look at the defensive line, see if I saw anything worth looking at. And then just a bad ball here, so not very impressive by Dillon. Ooh, jeez. This is one of those things where, like, again, there's not as many of them in the comment section anymore. Because, like, when I first was ragging on Dillon's height, people thought I was just picking on him or trying to make jokes. But I'm dead serious. Like, the height stuff matters. Because, look, even when Dillon does the right thing right here, right, which is he slides over, he finds the passing window, and he does a good job of releasing this ball. What he can't see is the fact that 28 is just sitting over this spot and he just threw a medicine ball, right? He's throwing this to 37 with anticipation, leading him towards the middle of the field because he's thinking the middle is wide open, but he can't see the middle of the field because of what's going on here, right? 70 picks up, gets in his way. He can't see it, so he just throws this medicine ball. And look, the guy caught it. Luke Floria got great hands, Wes Welker type shit here, right? Great for him. But a lot of times this turns into a tip ball. And you know how that goes, right? That can be an interception real easily. This is where that height matters, right? Because it's not just can you get the ball off or the ball get batted at the line of scrimmage. You can be good at finding your passing lanes, but still can't deal with the lack of vision that you have there, right? Sometimes you got to, like Drew Brees, people talk about Drew Brees. Drew Brees not only was mechanically ferocious with finding ways to get that vision, but also Drew Brees was a genius, right? Like, he was going to be able to know pre-snap if there's going to be somebody there. It's a real high standard when you say, oh, well, Drew Brees was able to do it. It's like, yeah, okay, well, can he be Drew Brees? Because that's a crazy standard to live up to. It's just inaccurate footballs right here. I don't think he had a good day at all here. Yeah, look at that. Just launches it. I can't even see where the little man at right there. That's crazy, bro. Again, man, people trying to tell me that the height's not going to matter. And look, I get it if you like Dillon Gabriel. He seems like a really likable guy. And, I'm rooting for him to be the best version of himself. But, dog, I mean, do you not see the problem? Do you not see the issue? He had to do all that to throw the screen. Do we not see the issue here, y'all? And look, to Dillon's credit, he's doing a good job finding passing lanes. It's just, man, the thing about height is that it matters, especially in football, especially in pro sports. And we could talk about who has an inch there or he's only 2 inches shorter than this guy. Those 2 inches matter, right? That cracks me up every time he's like, well, Shadour is only 6'1" and Dillon's 5'11". They're only 2 inches apart. Well, that's a big difference. It's people that pay millions of dollars to get that what they call that leg BBL surgery where you get to be taller. There are people who pay millions of dollars for 2 inches. That's all I'm gonna say on that, because y'all gonna get real inappropriate real fast if I keep talking about inches. I already know how the comment section go. All right. So again, man, it's inaccurate. That should have been picked off, dog. I don't know where that shit was going. Again, you're noticing a pattern here with Dillon. He's having a really hard time identifying underneath coverage because he can't see it. Boom. That right there is a ball you throw because you don't see that guy. Maybe it's miscommunication, but I think he's trying to hit a backside, and he just did not see 25, and it got picked off. Yep, not near nobody. And Jerome Ford just drops that. Not an impressive day at all for Mr. Gabriel. I don't know what happened there. Looked like a touchdown. But yeah. Yeah, this is a meaningless rep. Let's move on. Yeah, let's move on. Well, actually, it looks like there's some more 11-on-11s here. Let's continue. Yeah, Dillon's not fast enough to do that in the league. He's not going to be a design runner. Ooh, man. And the drive is really what's concerning me with Dillon right now. Right? There was some stuff to be there. He was processing well with confidence, but look at this, the lack of drive. The wind just takes this ball. He couldn't drive it forward like he wanted it to. Goes behind him. Not a great day for Dillon Gabriel. All right, let's look at the Shadour clips. What did that come off Shador's hand funny? It did not look like it came off clean. No, he just kind of shot putted this. A nice little screen pass there. looks like a 7-on-7. All right, this is the thing I'm going to be ultra critical of Shadour, unless they're working scramble drill. If they're working scramble drill, then so be it, right? And invalidate the criticism. I don't, it's not that deep. But this too much time. Like they might be working on it. That might be fair. But if they were working on scramble drill, I think they would have one of the coaches out there with like the little poles, the little foam poles to simulate pass rusher arms. The fact that there's nobody really there tells me that this is just a really long rep. Well, hold on now. What they working right here? Maybe they're working leverage. I think that's what they're doing. Okay. All right. So the time on this doesn't matter. I think they're working a drill because Shadour is looking and they want him to react to different leverage and how it looks like to know when to escape and when not to. They're working on his pocket instincts, I believe. All right. So, yeah. Never mind then. It's fine. Here. Working through, back. Good. We can get him that much time, that'd be great. I don't know if we're going to be able to, but I love how he works through it, right? 1, 2, sets, throws. Cool. It looks like it's speeding up for him a little bit. You know what I mean? Like it looks like the rhythm's getting faster. He's getting it. I think working him with the twos, letting him build his confidence is really a strategy that's actually proven to be successful. And like there's been a lot of criticism for how the Browns have handled Shadour, but the fact that Shadour keeps playing well in practice kind of shows that the Browns are putting him in a good environment, right? And I think some people need to give him credit for that, right? Because this is working through nice, right? He looks really confident. The guy didn't catch the ball. Let's see if that doesn't look to be Shadour's fault. It's hard to tell. Nah, that ain't on Shadour. That's a great play by the DB / drop. Here, work through. Did he change his helmet back to that like DNA one? It looks like he did. Yeah. So new helmet for Shadour. This right here, good. I like this right here. Look, he goes through, reads, understands what he has, understands what the defense is in, works back to it, and once he sees this tight end break across the grain, releases it with anticipation. That's great. And look how he doesn't throw him directly into Devin Bush, right? Because he sees Devin. So he layers, well, he doesn't layer it, but he lines this up forward. Boom. Nice. That's Sal Cannella? No, it's not Sal Cannella. Little run here for not Jerome Ford. Dillon Sampson. Might be the duo run. Yeah, this is it. This is Jerome Ford getting a nice little run here. Let's see if this is actually a big run play for Jerome, or if this is kind of just a practice-only run play. I'm trying to spot. Where is he? Okay, he's the one with the Guardian cap on. It's really hard to get an eye on him. Okay. Yeah. Seems legit. We've seen Jerome Ford do that before. Again, I think in a gap scheme heavy system, Jerome Ford's probably going to be much better than we anticipate. I don't know if he's a feature back, though. Nice. Yeah. I know he threw an interception today. I wonder if they got that interception in. Because I know Shadour threw an interception. I don't know if anybody has footage of it, but I know he threw an interception to Cam Mitchell. Again, wish I could have been there to see it, but that's my own problem. Yeah. This is what I mean, where I'm like, okay, I just want him to stay active, process quicker. This is good. Nice little layered ball here. Our linebackers kind of sit he sees it, reads it, right? Only thing I would like, no, I don't mind him actually just standing and throwing there. I was gonna say I would love if he hitched up, but I think the priority should be once you see it, just get the damn ball out. GTFO, right? Get it out. So that's actually fine to me. So it's a really good rep here, you know. And that's the one thing with Shadour. You're not seeing a lot of inaccurate footballs. You're not seeing the ball hit the ground a ton. You know, this is why I think it's legit. Like, there's legitimate reason to be excited about what Shadour has put together during training camp. You know, now I don't want to take it too far, right, and start overselling and putting him in a position to where, you know, there's too much hype for him to live up to. But I think there's reason why people are excited, you know. Again, I think this feels a little bit like it's like a quarter second slow. Like you would want this about a quarter second faster in the game. But they might have just been working it a quarter slower. This is Dillon. Oof, yeah, we saw that one from a different angle. With that Joe Flacco. And then another throw here. Jesus. Yeah, this is the one where Dillon got him killed. And it's like, hey, man, like, the reason he got him killed is he just didn't see him. Look at how he throws that ball. He thinks that there's nobody there because he can't see him. Yeah. Yeah, the height thing's a concern. But that's the footage from camp. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.